DIYers, hey, what's going on? Mike Boers with the Mike Boers channel. Thank you for watching. We are talking tractors today, and in today's video, we are going to be referencing my dad's 1987 Gravely Riding Mower. We're talking gas caps or fuel gauges, and in the event that you have searched for a long time and you've basically exhausted your search and can't find a replacement gas cap or fuel gauge, we're going to talk about and show you a few photos on what you have as options, and hopefully this might help you. Let's get started and take a look. Alright, DIYers, we are at my parents', and again in front of us, my dad's 1987 Gravely Professional 18G. It's got that M18 or 18 horsepower Kohler engine on the back. The engine is not up front inside that area. Again, it's in the back, and inside that compartment, which we will open here shortly, is our battery, our fuel tank, the fuel gauge, as well as the electrical wiring, the starter relay, ignition switch, hydraulic pump, and more. And there it is, the badly damaged or cracked and needing to be replaced fuel gauge. Additional items: hydraulic reservoir, hoses, ignition switch, relay, and hobs. 1987, it has 2,107.6 hours and still running good. However, here's what I want to point out. Hear that? That is a hissing or whistle sound, and that is coming out of that center slit or crack. And unfortunately, because of that, the fuel system is not 100% efficiently pressurizing as the engine is running. Alright, DIYers, hey, quick break in the action as we continue the project and talking about how we repaired my dad's OEM or original gas cap and fuel gauge. And again, you're looking at it. This is from 1987 and it has never been modified, repaired, however, just recently replaced with a new one. But that got us thinking, if I can purchase a second fuel gauge or gas cap that we previously installed in a video we filmed recently, there is a possibility, however very risky, I get it, there is that possibility that I can position this OEM or original gas cap in a way where I can get some screwdrivers and or pliers inside that cracked cap or center portion and peel it up and off, and at the same time do the exact same thing with the new part. And I did just that. However, it was not easy, I will be honest. I completely destroyed the brand new one when I received it just to get that one center acrylic cover or cap off of that new part. And at this point, DIYers, the main reason I ordered a second new gas cap and fuel gauge is because there was no guarantees that this was going to work. In other words, if I destroyed that second brand new gas cap or fuel gauge, well, that's not that big of a deal because again, I have already replaced the gas cap with a brand new one, and I still had that. However, in addition, it was likely or a possibility that I was going to destroy or break this exact OEM gas cap, and really, I didn't want to do that. So again, there is risk involved. And moving forward with this repair is personal preference, along with your own personal understanding and risk. But again, for us, we already removed this old gas cap from the fuel tank and installed a brand new one. So in our minds, we really didn't have much to lose because we already have a brand new gas cap installed. From here, we're just behind the scenes or under the radar with this idea and curious if we can actually do this and or repair it. However, real quick, the overall length of my dad's original gas cap or fuel gauge as well as the brand new one is just under 14 inches or 13 and about 3/4 inch. On to the next photo, we're just showing the bottom portion or the float that is installed on the gauge. And on the left hand side, we've got the old or original, and on the right hand side, the brand new one. On to the next photo, and again, as you saw in the beginning of this video, on the left hand side, that is the OEM original gas gauge or fuel gauge and or cap. And dead center is that crack, and go all the way up to the 12 o'clock or top portion of that crack, you see a circle or hole, and that is your breather hole. Now go over to the right to the new gauge and go to the bottom near the 6, you see that exact same hole. Again, that's a breather hole. That is required. However, back to the original on the left hand side, once that crack occurred or happened, that breather hole can no longer operate as it is designed to do. And that is where we get the excess of air inside the system and that hissing or whistle sound when we press on the gas tank, and the unfortunate degraded performance in regards to the fuel system truly pressurizing as the engine is running. However, let's go back to the right side. And again, I literally destroyed that second new part just to get that center clear cap or cover removed. And I was very fortunate because I basically broke everything in regards to that part from the cap all the way down just to save that one top clear cover or cap. But it worked. I didn't care about the rest of the cap or the lower portion of the gauge where the float is. And once I got that part removed, I placed it directly on top of the left cap, or my dad's OEM cap, just to ensure that the cap was the same size. It was the exact same size. However, it is very important to know how these things are put together. These plastic center caps are not installed from the top that we are looking at now. They are installed on the underside or bottom portion of the gas cap, and then pressed up and in place in a beveled cutout, where they are then locked in place by the additional parts that are pressed in underneath it, such as the aluminum panel where you see fuel on the right side or brand new cap, and below that you see the fuel needle. Again, those are additional parts that are installed underneath that clear cap and pressed up and locked in place, ultimately locking that cap in place where, again, it will never come out. So again, DIYers, that's important to know, and that may answer your question of why I completely destroyed that second new gas cap or gauge just to retrieve or remove or save that clear center cap. However, back to the OEM on the left, we have that crack, so it made it a lot easier to remove. However, I'm not going to say it was easy. It did put up a fight and give me a moment of doubt that I was going to be able to get that part out. However, what I did was I ever so carefully inserted a flathead screwdriver in that crack, and the last thing I wanted to do was scratch the inner aluminum gauge or panel that has the E and F, because I realized it was going to be impossible for me to install the aluminum fuel registering piece and needle from the new part to my dad's OEM part. It just was not going to be possible. However, after getting the flathead screwdriver carefully in that crack and peeling it up, it did begin to crack and break, and pieces started to fly everywhere. I didn't give up. I grabbed some needle nose pliers, and you will see the end result in the next photo. And check this out, DIYers. There it is. That is the original cover or cap, and this is the aluminum part from the second new piece. You can see a larger hole than just a little crack or slit. And again, as I inserted that flathead screwdriver and started to peel it up, I had a real good idea that it was going to begin cracking. I got to a point where, again, I got the needle nose pliers in and pieces continued to crack until I got to this section right here. And I remember grabbing a hold of this right here, and finally it broke right here. And DIYers, that did wonders for the remainder of the project. I repositioned the pliers in a way where I could grab a hold of this section right here and slowly pivot my wrist up and shift and peel this entire portion out of this little gap inside here. Again, it's not supposed to come out this way because it wasn't installed that way. But again, go slow, and once I got basically this much out of this section right here, I repositioned my pliers to over here and continued peeling it out, and I was shocked that it came out in this condition. However, once this was out, I had this brand new cap sitting next to it, and I picked it right up and placed it right here. But again, it's not supposed to be able to be installed this way, and basically I could not. It was impossible. To be honest, the last thing I wanted to do was force it and break it, because at that point, I would definitely order a third gas cap and do the same thing, basically destroy it just to get that center or top clear cap out. So what I did was grabbed a sheet of 400 grit sandpaper and just began sanding the entire way around the new cover. And I did a little at a time. The last thing I wanted to do was do too much and then be able to pop that cap in and then screw the gas cap onto the tank. And once the engine starts and the vibration of the tractor when you're out mowing or snow plowing, I didn't want to see that clear center cap pop out and get lost or end up down below underneath the mower deck and destroyed, right? That would not be good. So again, sanding it just a little at a time until I was able to perfectly position that cap in a way where under a very friendly amount of pressure, believe it or not, DIYers, I was able to pop it in that insert and test it and verify it is not coming out. And that made our day, because at that point, truthfully, we no longer wanted that first gas cap or fuel gauge that we ordered and replaced in that video that we filmed of replacing the old with the new. We wanted that off. And we wanted my dad's OEM gas cap and fuel gauge reinserted into the tank and twisted tight with that brand new center cap that we got from the second ordered gas cap. And it put huge smiles on both of our faces. And there it is. Again, we are back to the OEM or original gas cap and fuel gauge from 1987, and it still has the original aluminum panel that says gas and has the E for empty and the F for full, and then 3 black tabs that are fuel level indicators or markings, and the original fuel lever. Again, we love it. We are so happy we were able to do this, and we wanted to share this with you because you might be able to do this, and or you might want to do this in order to keep your OEM gas cap. But again, personal preference, we wanted to show you this because, again, for us, it is interesting to say it this way. This is a huge upgrade or massive upgrade for us, even though it's not new. Just the center top clear cap is new. However, it looks brand new to us. We cleaned the OEM cap or black portion of the cap up, And of course, there's a few scratches and nicks or dings, but we don't care. It's the OEM part. And to us, we look at it like it's brand new. So again, DIYers, we hope this helps. Hey, do us a favor. Below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. And one more thing before we wrap the video up, definitely check out the links down below, including links to replacement parts for this tractor, as well as links to additional DIY repair videos, ranging from replacing your battery, to your starter switch, to your starter relay, to your ignition switch, your air filter, changing the oil, replacing the ignition coil, the flywheel fan blade, the grass screen, and many more. Definitely check those out. Thanks again.